guys, welcome back to a brand new episode. And today we've got a very funny guy in the house, Daddy Dumpling.
Hello, everyone. My name is Daddy Dumpling, Daddy for short.
So do I call you Daddy or Ray?
You call me Ray. That's my persona online, but
yeah?
it depends who you are, who you want to call me.
Okay,
But Daddy's also fine. Ray's also okay.
Yeah. So yes, guys, we have Daddy Dumpling, Ray Kam in the studio with us today. So Daddy Dumpling, why this name? How did it come about? It's so interesting.
Oh yes, it was actually my Finsta name on Instagram for the longest time. Yeah.
What
Finsta is like your own private account that like you have that no one, only your close
secret
friends
account.
Yeah, my secret account. And then I was in college, I was making dumplings with my friends, and then we were talking about how girlfriends started calling their boyfriends daddy. And I was like, ooh, Daddy Dumpling. And I just took that name like a few years ago, and then during the pandemic when I started doing all like social media stuff, I rebranded it myself. I took that name and I made it mine.
Have you trademarked it?
No. Oh,
you totally should then.
Yes.
You should.
Yes, it's trademarked. I do have a Daddy Dumpling LLC though, so.
Oh, okay.
So
it's quite official then. It's quite yours.
Yeah.
Have you met any other Daddy Dumplings? You know, like sometimes you want to create a username and a Daddy Dumpling taken.
Oh, copycats. People who want to be like me. Oh yeah, plenty lah. Oh come on.
Oh, sorry.
No, I'm scared. I don't know. I'll have to check after.
Yeah, but anyway, so I guess for obviously our audience, they may have seen your stuff online or may not know you that well. So how would you describe yourself, Ray?
Oh, describe myself as in content?
As yourself, Ray.
Me?
We'll talk about content stuff later.
Oh, as an individual, human being, you care about me as a
I
person, not just my
do.
internet persona.
No.
Oh my God, I'm not just a piece of meat. Thank you so much.
That's
I'm a
what I made
human
you
being.
think. I'm just kidding.
The toes are free.
Okay, so context of this. So all my guests who come on the show, they would ask me, do I wear socks or not? Because I'm like, yeah, you could unless you want to provide free pics, feet pics. And the Ray was just like, you know what? I'm not going to wear it. I'll give the people what they want.
Yeah.
So yeah,
free
guys,
trial.
please feel free to zoom in. This might just make it
Make
to
sure
the
you
cut.
know how to be able to spread your toes because that's very important for your toe mobility, and it moves up your body and can affect your neck. So you can sometimes in physical therapy, you can fix your neck by fixing your toes.
I love how random this is. Oh, by the way, I know you're a physical trainer also.
I have a background in exercise. That's what I went
Yeah?
to school for, correct?
Right.
Yes,
Yes,
yes, yes,
exactly.
yes.
That's why I want to know more about you. So tell us
Oh,
more.
it's about me. Okay, well, to rewind, me as an individual, I'm quite the energetic person, but I would say I'm very grounded. If you're into like the astrology stuff, which I'm not, I've just been ran through, so therefore I know a little bit about it. I'm a Libra.
Okay.
Libra with a Libra rising, but a Taurus moon. That means I'm so grounded. That means I'm like, I keep my emotions in and I'm like, yeah. You feel? Yeah.
I feel it.
Yeah.
Okay. Then what about where you're from? Because like, are you're Chinese?
Correct. Yes.
Which part of the world?
I was born in the Hong Kong.
香港啊?
香港出世.
Oh.
Yes.
They swear a lot.
Yes. Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah, 死八婆嗰啲嘢咯, you know, like 死仆街嗰啲嘢咯, you know, you already know lah.
So were you born in Hong Kong?
Yes.
Right. And then now you're in LA.
I moved to LA when I was 6.
Right.
So I was raised in San Gabriel. Have you heard of it?
Heard of it.
Yeah,
Never
so-
been.
Okay, so San Gabriel Valley, if you guys don't know, is a very like Asian Chinese area.
Right.
It's where like a lot of Hong Kong people are. It's like it's almost like the Chinatown of LA, because the Chinatown in LA is like more of like a touristy place.
Right.
And so rather because we're such a metropolitan place, we're more like a big community. We're a whole zip code of like Chinese Asian people.
Yeah.
So that's where I was raised, in like
Right.
very densely populated Asian area.
Was it because your dad or your mom was working there, so they moved over, or like
My grandparents had that house, and then we ended up moving there when my
Right.
dad changed jobs.
Ah.
So that's why we moved to the U.S. When I was 6. So
It's been many decades since.
I'm not many, like
Two?
like
Two is many lah. One more than one is many.
Yeah.
Okay, so like, what did you study in school?
I studied kinesiology, so I have a background, a bachelor's in kinesiology. It's the
Sorry,
human.
what is that? I sound stupid right now. Kinesiology.
You're not stupid. Do not talk to yourself like that. Come on, Maggie. Kinesiology is the study of human kinetics, aka physical therapy,
Right.
biomechanics.
In high school.
In college.
In college. Wait. So I know in America, college means something else.
College is uni.
Oh.
Yeah. It's like equivalent.
Right. Okay. Yeah. Because this college is pre-U.
Oh,
Just before uni.
no, we call it high school. Just
high school is high school.
Like, you know,
Right.
Buster Rhymes.
Guys, I
You
feel like the
know
people
what I'm
listening to this, yeah, like laughing their butts off. But anyway, okay, so kinesiology, got it.
Yes.
I can't even say
Yes,
the word.
kinesiology.
Kinesiology.
Yeah, and then I went to then I actually swam in college too. So I was on like a
Wow.
scholarship, swam competitively, got like scouted, scholarship stuff, blah blah blah.
Amazing. Like what stroke? Like freestyle?
Breaststroke
Whoa. Okay.
and butterfly.
Daddy Dumpling doing the breaststroke. Not bad. Not bad.
Yeah,
It's
yeah,
very
yeah,
on
yeah.
brand.
Yeah.
Right. Very,
Oh yeah.
very on brand. So then,
Chopo. Breaststroke. Chopo.
direct translation in Cantonese, by the way, but those of you who don't understand Cantonese might be hard to get.
No, it's bui sick.
Oh, my Cantonese is
No,
so shit.
bui sick. It's like bui some. It's
Bui.
like bui. It's like chest.
Oh, really?
So chest stroke is I think
I thought
the
it's ball. Ball is boobs.
ball is literally boob. Yeah.
Right. My hong.
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 Yeah.
Hong is chest.
Yeah. Oh, well, that means like literally like
Gai hong yok
breast.
Yeah.
Like
gai-
breast.
Yeah.
But then like gosh, I forgot that word. Breast.
Stroke.
Sick. Like color. Like sick
Yeah,
is
yeah,
a stroke.
yeah.
Like Diao. Sick is freestyle. Backstroke is bui sick.
Right.
Deep sick. And then wah sick.
Oh,
Wah sick is
yeah,
breaststroke.
yeah, because
not
you swim
bui
like a
sick.
frog.
Yeah.
Yes. Y is frog,
Crazy,
right?
bro.
Oh my
Yeah.
gosh.
Oh my god, dude. So that's a big thing about me is like the like being born in Hong Kong and then being raised overseas. It's
Yeah.
like where I'm a diaspora person.
Yeah.
I'm my third culture kid. I'm always so confused. Like, where do I belong? Luckily,
Yeah.
I was raised in such an Asian area, but there were some instances in my life where I'm just like, oh, like where do I belong? Like why do I feel rejected here? I don't feel rejected there, and it's just always this confusion.
Yeah.
You know.
And have you ever were there anything that has happened before when you were growing up that made you feel like this is so hard to be like in between?
I think it was quite polar for me because the college I went to is actually called Biola, Biola. It stands for the Bible Institute of Los Angeles. So I went to a Bible school for college, and it was like a very white evangelical Christian college. So it was quite a swing going from like a very Chinese area to now all of a sudden like I am a minority.
Yeah.
And then a lot of people are not from LA where it's very diverse, and I'm like their first like Asian friend. And then also within the athletes, I was like one of the only ethnic ones as well. And so that was kind of jarring for me.
Yeah.
And then naturally I would get, and they mean well, you know, I'm not trying to talk crap, but I would get a lot of microaggressions on like, you know, the stupid stuff of how people are like, oh, like your eyes so small, like, oh, your dick's so small, like, you know, that sort of stuff, but which is not true.
How you know it's small?
Because we shower together, all of us. And I'm like, the same size as yours. Shit.
But like, does it still affect you, or you've got kind of grown to like deal with it?
Being a diaspora person?
Or like getting comments like that?
Oh, actually now I don't really get that anymore because
Okay.
maybe I do, but I just don't notice it anymore.
Right.
And I'm pretty comfortable with my identity and also like the journey and search for it now.
So speaking of, you know, that there's school and then there's non-school things right now, content, Daddy Dumpling things.
Yes.
How did that happen?
Oh man, it was during the pandemic. Actually, I was in grad school. I was in my master's of kinesiology, and then I fell into social media one day. It was lockdown.
Okay.
There's this trend going on TikTok where it's this like Billie Eilish thing, and then there's this part where you have to say it in your voice, and you're like, and you have to be like raspy in your voice. And instead of doing like the saying in my voice, I just swore in Cantonese. I was like, and I was like, oh my god, and I posted it, and then it like did really well. I was like, oh, I went from like 1,000 views to like maybe like 200,000 views at the time, and I was like, holy crap, like actually. And as I kept doing it, right? And then eventually I ended up joining a creative friend group
Mm-hmm.
that did like a bunch of different creative things.
Yeah.
Like we threw like fashion shows.
Oh.
We've done like farmers market, flea markets. I started like making clothes. I started like shooting music videos in like the salt flats of Utah, or
Right.
like the first day on set ever, I was in the middle of the sand dunes in like in the middle of the desert, just
Yeah.
making a music video.
Yeah.
And then that doing that and social media kind of inspired me to be like, oh, I don't know if I could be in a clinic the rest of my life stretching old people and smelling their
The feet, the feet,
yeah,
and
let's say
everything
their feet.
else.
Let's say their feet.
Everything in between.
Mm-hmm.
Uh-huh.
Their fermentation.
Uh-huh.
So I'm like, okay. And I was like consuming a lot of like podcasts at the time, like from like Gary Vee, for
Yeah.
example. But like, oh, the biggest thing you don't want to do on your deathbed
Yeah.
is have to regret, right? So
Yeah.
I didn't have any. I was filled with all this passion, energy, and I knew I didn't want to be in the clinic, so I dropped out one semester before graduating. And I went through a lot of therapy at the time too. My counselor was like, "Just try it one semester off. You always come back." And then I just never went back.
Right.
And so when I first dropped off, I started doing like a little bit of everything. I started doing background acting.
No way.
So
Like
yeah, I was like the blur in the background. In Kansas, it's called KLFA.
Calife. Yes,
Yeah,
yes,
I
yes.
was a KLFA in the background. Yeah. And then so I started doing that, and then I put all that money I got from background acting
Mhm.
into acting classes.
Oh wow.
And then I started applying to agents, and that's how I got my first agents and representation. So within half a year of dropping out of grad school, I got my representation. Yeah.
I felt like it was very strategic from your first viral video. Like you just knew what was next and you planned towards it. No, or was it?
No,
Okay,
no,
it was more like
definitely no.
hitting the wall each time you go, or like how? Because it feels very strategic. Like half a year, it's quite a short time.
I just like if I'm going like when I dropped out, my dad didn't talk to me for 2 months. I sat next to him at dinner every single night. A very classic story that a lot of Asian people have, and it's like it's nothing special, but it was very awkward. And I knew and I understand now that I'm older. Like my dad worked his whole life to put me through school, and he paid out of his pocket for my master's program. And now I'm gonna like drop out to like do videos on the internet. Like
What?
that makes
Yeah.
sense why he's mad at me. Like
Yeah.
at the time though, I was just filled with so much like I'm gonna show you, I'm gonna chase my dreams. I didn't
Yeah.
even know what that meant. I had no idea what that
Yeah.
meant, right? So I just started doing like what's the lowest thing that I could do, like the easiest accessibility thing, and that was that background acting.
Right.
And then yeah, I that's where I learned a lot being on set in Hollywood. It's like rather than like always just trying to read it on a book of like what to do next, I just put myself in that situation to just learn. And when I was background acting, I wasn't just like walking around the back, but I was literally observing and seeing how like productions were ran. And I just like naturally as a very curious person, I just kind of picked
Pick
up
it up.
like I just picked up like how does it run?
Yeah.
And that with with my creative friend group,
Yeah.
it made sense. It made sense, and I learned a lot. I
Mhm.
just learned on the field. I didn't study film,
Mm-hmm.
right? So yeah, I got my representation, and then I stopped doing background acting because he told me like this is not going to move the needle for you. If you
Yeah.
want to actually act, then you can't be like spending your days on set being a blur in the background, and that made sense to me.
Mhm.
And so I just, I didn't even know what I was doing. I just did anything, everything. I was just trying. I was making more videos, whatnot, until the end of that first year, 2022.
Mhm.
2022, I booked my first movie. So 2020, beginning of 2022, February, I
Mhm.
got my representation, and then the end
Of
December
that year, yeah.
is when I booked a movie with Mark Wahlberg on Apple TV.
Yes.
It was like a small little role, but it was like still a pretty substantial role for me at the time. It was
Yeah.
like I got flown out to Vegas, like
Oh.
first class. I got picked up in like a Cadillac, and I land as a person with with my name, and I get like chauffeured to like a nice like 5-star hotel. Like it's very this is like the bare minimum of like
Yeah.
what actors
Wow.
get. But I had that experience,
Yeah.
and then I was there for a week, and I shot 2 days, I think. And I went from like a blur in the background on this show called Boobage.
Mm.
And one of the leads, her name is Zoe Coletti, if you
Mhm.
know her. And I'm using her as a kind of like marker in
Mhm.
my head, because in that movie I was her love interest.
Right.
So within 1 year of being a blur in the background, now all of a sudden I've like, how'd I end up here being like her love interest in this Mark Wahlberg film?
Yeah. Feels surreal.
Yeah, I was like 1 year ago. I was like,
Yeah.
and then here I am acting with Mark Wahlberg in front of three or 400 background actors, and like I had like 3 cameras on me and like on a crane. And then oh my god, I didn't get my full script until the day of.
Wait, is that
Uh,
normal though? To
I think
not. Oh,
so.
really?
But for me, I'm like, oh my god, it's my first time doing this. Like I've acted a lot of like short films and
Yeah.
stuff, but like, oh my god, I'm like literally doing this.
Yeah.
And they told me that day when I landed on Monday, I shot Wednesday. That Monday that I was gonna have a live baby strapped to me. So
Okay.
when I went to the fitting, once I landed, I put on this baby Bjorn, and then I was like, "Oh, what's this for?" It's like, "Oh, you're holding the baby." I was like, "What do you mean?" And so Wednesday comes around, and like the baby was just crying because I'm this like I'm this stranger that this
Yeah.
baby has never met,
Mhm.
and then so not only do I have to act, but like I have to calm the baby down. So
You
so
literally have to be a daddy.
literally, yeah, I literally had to be daddy. I had to. They said action, but the baby would be crying and everyone would be dead silent,
Yeah.
right? Just like I was like super silent right now.
Mhm.
And then the baby's crying. So after like, oh baby, baby, and then once the baby slowly like
Yeah.
gets quiet, then I slowly waddle to my mark, and then it's a silent action, and then everything starts moving again. And then Michelle McGonagall comes and like I do my scene with her, blah blah blah. Mark Wahlberg comes and I do a scene, and like the whole time I have this baby strapped to me, and so like the level of stress,
Yeah.
oh my god, it was like that level of ceiling. It was very very high,
It's
and
like
it was
so much happening all at the same time.
yeah. So that was my experience on.
But you nailed it though, right?
that. Yeah, I did the job.
Yeah.
I honestly blacked out. I blacked out. I don't remember anything.
Really?
Yeah, I watched it back. I was like, oh yeah.
But do
guess
you
so.
remember the point when, let's go back in time, the time when they call your agent, call you, hey, you got this role?
Oh,
Like-
I was actually on my way to visit them to drop off Christmas gifts.
Right.
Because we were gonna be off for 2 weeks.
Okay.
And so I was driving to them, and I get the email, and I was like, holy crap! And then so I saw them right after, and I was like so happy.
Amazing.
It was the most wild experience that like a year ago, like I decided to take a bet on myself,
Yeah.
and then like it's actually happening. So that's my acting side.
Mm-hmm.
That after. Then I got into YouTube stuff.
Yeah.
I was acting. I don't tell much people. I know I did a post about it on my Daddy Dumpling stuff, but sometimes these kids come up to me and they're like, "Oh my God, you're Ray," and they know me because I was a main actor on my friend's YouTube channel.
Right.
We do kids content.
Okay.
His name's Zong. He does pretty well on YouTube. I think last time I
Really?
checked, he's at like 50 mil now.
Oh, wow.
Yeah, I worked with him when he was at 30 mil, and like through him, he taught me a lot about like content, the business side.
Mm.
And actually, Zong was like the most phenomenal businessman, and then you do the content,
Yeah.
and that inspired me to then like start my cooking show with my dad. I was doing a little bit of content with him here and there, but
Yeah.
he didn't know actually. I would just prop up my phone
Mm-hmm.
and then I would go mess with him.
Yeah.
Like there's this one viral video I did where I propped up my phone and he was reading this the manual on this new oven that we got. And then I went to kiss him. I said, "I love you, Dad. I love you." And then like the prompt was how to make your Asian parent uncomfortable. So I went to "I love you." I kissed him and he pushed me off like, "Oh, you're crazy. You're crazy."
It was all like unscripted.
Oh yeah, it was real.
Yeah?
It was so real. And then I started doing a little bit of stuff like that, and and then started doing some numbers, and then like relatives from Hong Kong would
Yeah.
be like, "Oh, I saw your videos," and like friends of the relatives were like,
Yeah.
"Oh, I love that video."
Yeah.
And so my dad started getting a little clout, and then he started getting
He
like
enjoys that a little bit.
yeah. And then I convinced him to do the cooking show with me.
Right.
I was like, "Dad, will you do this for me?"
Yeah.
He's like, "Fine, whatever." Yeah.
But like he didn't want to talk to you for 2 months. Like how did he soften up to this whole thing from not talking to you that you left school to like, okay, I'll do a cooking show with you? Was it a gradual thing that you had to like just
It was gradual. I think he
Yeah.
saw that I was working really hard.
okay.
And there was like nights where I just wouldn't come home for dinner because I was working,
Right.
or I would be like doing background acting. What really changed was when I booked that role, and he was like, "Okay, like fine."
Maybe my son is onto something.
Yeah, like fine, like I'll give you a chance.
Yeah.
You know. But I just was doing my own thing.
Yeah.
And
And he
yeah,
was just observing and everything.
yeah. He just like he didn't approve, but he did tolerate it.
That's so
Um,
nice, honestly. I feel like
Yeah.
most of our Asian parents are typically like that, I
Yeah.
guess. Like they love you in a different way, like a tough love they call it.
Mhm.
Yeah. Oh wow. Okay, so then daddy is now part of the business.
Yes.
I mean, dad. Dad
Yes,
is now
grandpa dumpling.
Oh, grandpa dumpling. I
Grandpa
was like, okay,
dumpling.
so if you're daddy dumpling, is he daddy dumpling?
No, he's
He's
grandpa dumpling because all of our followers are our baby dumps. All of our followers, our children.
Oh my
Baby
god. So
dumps.
everyone listening to this, y'all baby dumps.
Welcome to the baby dump kingdom. The steamer. Yes.
Okay, so how is it like working with that?
Actually, working with my dad's phenomenal.
Oh,
I
really?
have picked up like the back end work. Like I
Mhm.
told my dad, all you have to do is show up
Mhm.
and cook and do your thing. I will do everything else. All the prep, setting up, like all this. I did all this. Like you were before, you and your team were all like doing this. I was doing that with like the cooking show. And then all like the editing and stuff I'll take care of like with my team and you just have to show up.
Yeah.
And he was like, fine. And then started doing it and then we just, he was like thinks it's fun.
Yeah.
I catch him like watching our videos all the time, and even now my mom tells me that my dad watches those videos every single day to read all the comments. And
Has he always been this tech savvy? Because my mom didn't know how to get into Instagram before. Yeah.
yeah,
so-
my dad has a background in like tech.
Right.
stuff.
Okay.
Yeah,
That
yeah.
makes so much sense and so much easier. Less
But he doesn't know how to make content. He just like knows how to
Yeah.
like doom scroll, like
Yeah.
all the auntie uncles on Facebook.
Yeah.
Like reading all like the
Melega.
conspiracy. Hello, exactly. Yeah.
What about grandma dumpling?
My
Does she-
mom.
yeah. Does she feel left
Oh.
out? Because, like dad's part of it.
Nah.
What about her? Like, what's her role in all of this?
My-
Like, the cheerleader? Like, I want to know.
My mom growing up has always been the person who was really loving and took care of me a
Oh.
lot. And even with this, obviously she's trying to mediate like my dad,
Yeah.
like and me like dropping out. He's very angry. She's just trying to mediate,
Right.
But with all this, like she just kind of let me do it. And she's like now, like for example, we just traveled with my dad and to San Francisco to go to a parade float.
Yeah.
Like I was on a parade float with my dad in Chinatown. Like like my mom.
Oh, you guys were on the
Yeah. I was on the parade. Oh my god, it was this year has been crazy.
like the ones we see in Disneyland.
Yes,
Yeah,
yes.
okay.
Like I was on a parade float with my
Okay,
dad for
okay.
like Knorr chicken powder, not sponsored. Knorr the brand, and I was like, yeah, because
Yeah.
there's so many different people,
Amazing.
And my mom like now is supporting us as in like whenever like me and my dad are shooting, she's always like taking pictures of us,
Yeah.
or she would like help me book the hotel or like help me do logistics.
Mhm.
And she just like supports. Like
Yeah.
she's like, yeah, whatever, it's funny. She thinks
Yeah.
it's funny.
I
Yeah.
love that. I'm just curious, right? Obviously, when you do it alone, you take the responsibility all on yourself. But
Mm.
now that it's kind of like a family business, I
Uh-huh.
feel like the pressure is a lot more. So you might feel like you might have to nail it every single time, but that's not how it works. Sometimes we fail.
Yeah.
So like, how do you take these falls?
It honestly is a lot of pressure
Yeah.
because now my dad wants to do more content
Mhm.
and now like it's coming out of retirement for
Yeah.
like essentially do this. He's inspired to do more and I do feel like the necessity to almost like take care of him. Not the necessity, but I want to.
Yeah.
I want to take care of my dad. I want to make sure this like balancing content and business, and it is a lot of pressure.
I'm sorry, I never asked this. Are you
Mm.
the only child?
No,
Oh,
I have two older two older siblings. I have an older brother, older sister.
Right.
Hello, I love them so much.
家姐
Yeah.
阿哥啊
Yeah.
And they are in LA or Hong Kong?
My brother is in San Diego. He does like
Right.
data analysis stuff.
Right.
And my sister's a speech therapist.
Wow.
in LA.
Okay.
Yeah.
And what do they think about this fan biz?
They have no idea. My sister went with me to San Francisco. They're like, okay, like this is funny. They
Yeah.
just think it's funny.
Yeah.
And my brother was like, you're so weird. Because my brother is like such a number crunching, like nerdy type.
Yeah.
And I'm over here like, yeah, Yeah.
Yeah. But yeah, about the pressure.
I mean, I guess being a public figure does have a lot of pressures. It
Mhm.
comes with a lot of different things because like I fell into social media accidentally. I didn't try to do this, right? And one day I just went from not one day, over a period of time, I went from like a normal person
Mhm.
into like people who had views
Mhm.
and in my mind I at the time it was COVID, so I abruptly like dropped out of like not I abruptly had to go home from school and all my sources of identity was now cut off.
Yeah.
Like it was all swimming, school, and whatnot. And now I'm just no one, and then I feel on social media, and then I put a lot of my worth into that. And so when the numbers didn't do well, I would feel really bad.
Yeah.
Or if I didn't stay consistent, post every single day, I
Yeah.
would feel really bad.
Yeah.
And then on top of that, it's just like I didn't understand at the time, but this podcast has said actually you have to forget what everyone says about you, good, bad, or neutral. Like it doesn't matter if they compliment you, it doesn't matter. And I
Right.
understood now because it's starting to affect me. Um, because my totem poles of identity was now gone, and now people were saying good, bad, and neutral things about me. It was just a lot of noise to where I didn't have my sense of identity again. And
Yeah.
so I got really depressed, and I was just like just beating myself up all the time.
Yeah.
And when I knew like I've always been like a very vulnerable person, and so therefore I was like, yeah, I'm gonna go back to therapy. And I went to therapy like 2 times already. Like undergraduate, graduate school. Now I'm like stepping into life transition,
Yeah.
and I felt like I needed help with therapy, with my identity.
Right.
So that's why I went back into therapy, and went through a lot of that. And it was a lot of working on my like confidence issues,
Yeah.
digging deeper into like why am I so hard on myself? And I'm a person that like really thrives off of achieving things. And I'm people pleasing was like such a, this people pleasing is an interesting concept. Like where did that
Yeah.
come from?
Yeah.
And then so therefore what does that relay into how I talk to myself?
Yeah.
What are my own values?
Yeah.
And so yeah, I went through a lot of therapy to kind of regain my sense of identity, so that way I understood if I wanted to have a career in entertainment, I must have a foundation to stand on.
Yeah, that's what I think I personally believe in as well. Especially these days, social media can make you an overnight star, and that really can mess you up in
Yeah.
the head.
Yes.
Yeah, it's great. The fame is great, but it comes with a baggage.
Yes.
And like
Yes,
a sense of responsibility as well. And
Yes.
like if you don't have your core strong or your foundation right, it can really shake you, right? But I'm glad that yours is really kind of like gradual somewhat.
Yes.
It's not like
Gradual.
an overnight thing. So
Yes.
you appreciate every milestone that you have,
Mm-hmm.
right? But like what was the one thing that I had to really unlearn in therapy?
Oh man.
You just came from therapy, right?
I did. I literally
Yeah.
was at therapy right before this.
Yes.
It was
Okay. What
great.
did we work on today? Without
Oh
the
my
details.
gosh. Same thing. It's just not being so hard on myself.
Yeah.
It's literally like I'm trying my best. I'm doing it. It just
Mhm.
needs to take time to like step back and like literally practice your gratitude. Like I am doing the work. Like
Mhm.
I'm not there yet, but I'm on my way there.
Yeah.
And that's the whole point of this whole journey. It's like I
Yeah.
can't keep basing myself off of the results when I
Mhm.
haven't taken the first step yet.
Yeah.
And that's like not even in content, but it's with like all of life.
Yeah.
It's like I can't. Why are you gonna put so much pressure on like trying to find someone to date when you don't even know yourself?
Yeah.
Or it's like you don't even know yourself first, and it's like you don't even know what you like, so you just
Yeah.
go out there to experience all those
Yeah.
things. Obviously it comes hand in hand, right?
sure.
Like you have to experience to know.
Also.
But beyond that, I think it's like, are you happy with yourself?
Mm.
It's like, do you even know what you like? Like what are your disciplines? What are your foundations as a person? What are you gonna build on? And I think that is so important in all aspects of life.
Yeah.
And that's what Daddy Dumpling is built off of.
Yeah. Do you know what? I feel like I learned so much about you today because obviously Daddy Dumpling's got this funny guy persona online, but like in real life, you're so grounded, like you said at the start of the podcast.
yeah.
And like you care so much about bettering yourself. And I think that's not what everyone strives to be. Maybe just striving for the numbers. But while you strive for that, I love that you're also kind of like striving to be a better version of yourself.
Oh yeah, because it's like, man, with all this public platform, it's like,
Yeah.
what are you gonna do with it? What is
Right.
your mission? Like,
Yeah.
are you? And no hate to the people.
Yeah.
No, it's the industry, and
For
and
sure.
people pay their bills with it, and it's all balanced with a lot of things.
Yeah.
But how I run it, at least,
Yeah.
how I personally do it, is that you need to have the foundation of your mission.
For sure. I think it's so crazy, right? Like, of course, you are in the entertainment industry and think you can definitely agree when I say it's so easy to get validation. So easy, like you said, the good comments, but it's also just as easy to be invalidated and to be like replaced one day. Sorry, you're not good enough. You're not getting the job anymore. So like sometimes personally, I think even though like I'm not in Hollywood, I struggle with self-worth from time to time, with self-esteem.
Mm-hmm.
So like, do you have this conversation with your dad? Like, yo, dad, we're doing this together, I know, but this is gonna be, we might not always be loved. Do you have that conversation with him? I'm curious.
I always tell him that I I actually do worry because like
Mm,
I had a lot of therapy to
to
figure this out,
to
right?
hold space for you.
Yeah,
Yeah.
and then my dad is like he's not the he's woke, but he's not so woke to the place where he would like go to therapy yet.
All right.
I hope so, but I'm just like, okay, now my dad is going from like a regular person, and I'm working with him and putting him
Yeah.
in front of the camera, and he's getting recognized in
Yeah.
public. Like how therefore like how what's his reality starting to look like? So I
Right.
do worry about my dad, and it's kind of like flipped now
Yeah.
to make sure my dad is okay.
Also taking care of him,
Yeah,
right?
emotionally,
Yeah.
and I have to consider those. Yeah.
Scary? How does that make you feel?
I don't even. I'm figuring it out. Like I'm like, oh my god. Like I don't want my dad to like crash and burn and fall into a state of XYZ. So that's pressure on me too.
Mm.
And yeah.
It's crazy, right? Like, you know, not being able to control something like that because, you know, you're not his mind.
Mm-hmm.
You're not his body.
Mm-hmm.
You can only do so much as a son and as someone who loves and cares for him.
Same as what he did for me now.
Correct.
And I'm like, wow.
It's crazy, right? It's like
yeah.
now you're also, oh, I love this. It's kind of like a full circle moment.
Yes. Yes.
So like, what's the craziest thing a fan has ever done or said to you guys? Was there any?
Anything crazy? No. I mean, online there's always like the hums up comment lah, but
What?
whatever is fine. It's,
Because you're shirtless all
of
the
course,
time.
you know, of course, right? But actually most of their feedback is very fulfilling. The feedback is like they come up to me and they're like, oh, watching your videos with your dad made me talk to mine again.
Yeah.
Made me think about my parents. Made me like want to fix things with my parents. I wish I had that.
Yeah.
Because my mission statement is like I don't want to just like have a lecture on like, oh, you need to fix your things with your parents, but I just want to show that it's possible.
Yeah.
It's not everyone's situation is different.
For sure.
But luckily for me, I was able to do it. I was able to heal our relationship. We were able to heal a relationship, and now I want to be able to push the envelope on what it looks like for like healthy masculinity.
Yeah.
And what healthy like what does it look like fixing generational trauma.
Yeah.
Yeah. So I want to be a model for that and push that mission forward. I don't want to just continue being in an echo chamber telling the same stories of how your parents are like the antagonists in your life.
Yeah.
It's like it's
getting
the
old.
same thing. It's like, come on, like as
Yeah.
artists, as like filmmakers, as like creators, like it's time to push that envelope forward. Yeah, because it gets old unless you do it in a smart artistic way. That's different.
Yeah.
That's different, right?
Yeah. But I think breaking
but
the cycle is
expand.
always the goal, I feel.
Yeah, just expand on that.
Yeah.
Expand on like don't create just based off of trauma, but like what's deeper. Expand on that.
Yeah.
And that's what I'm just urging other creators and other like artists to do.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So what's the long-term vision goal for Daddy
Oh.
Dumpling? I'm sorry, I keep saying Daddy Dumpling, but that's
Oh,
like a brand
no,
now,
yes,
right?
yes,
It is
yes.
a brand. Cooking show?
So yes, we started firstly in a cooking show in the studio.
Yeah.
And next is that I as a person feel a lot of like fulfillment in my exploration of my Asianness. So therefore that's why I'm like expanding to Asia, and also like the objective demographics. I'm like, okay, there's people here which would welcome me,
Yeah.
I think.
Yeah.
And now I'm gonna take a bet on myself. I'm gonna put my money where my mouth is. I'm gonna try to build something overseas. I'm gonna try to create content here in Asia, in Malaysia, in Hong Kong, and wherever.
Is there a reason why cooking show, like food stuff specifically? Is it because your dad can cook, or like you love food, or what?
That had a lot of business side behind it. I was trying to think of like what is the quickest way to get as much content as possible and create a vehicle that I could potentially have brands attach themselves onto.
Right. So again, strategic.
Yes, it's balancing a lot of different sides of like the creative sides. What is my dad like doing? My dad loves cooking every single night. Ever since I was a kid, he loves cooking. That's his passion, right? And then I'm like the business side and production side. And also all the kitchens you see me cooking are not my home kitchen, by the way. They're all my
Ooh.
friends' kitchens. Shout out to Jonathan. Jonathan Liu, thank you. So I have to like produce this. I have to plan and I have to bring all the equipment over, all the lighting and
Yeah.
cameras and all the cooking stuff. But I took all these into consideration. And from there, it was born the cooking show.
Yeah.
And that was it's almost, but it's a cooking show, not about the food. It's about a relationship, and we just
Yeah.
banter most
That's
of the
just
time.
like a background, the
Yeah,
food, right?
we learn how to make like freaking steamed egg.
Oh my god, dude, it's so funny. I was just like, obviously, I had to do research on you more for the pod, and I was kind of like doom scrolling all your content because your dad is hella savage.
Yeah,
His comebacks are so good.
Oh yeah.
I don't know what he said, but I was laughing my ass off. And again, question from someone who enjoys the content, unscripted.
Yeah.
Like,
Unscripted.
I mean, your dad's part of the thing
Yeah.
because his comebacks are so good. You guys got to go check it out.
Thanks. Yeah, go check it out. How we do it is that I have a basic structure in my head. I
Yeah.
know this is gonna happen.
Yeah.
Like they're here like to make the video make sense.
Yeah.
But everything else is like improv. It's just us doing it, and
Have you guys argued on set
no,
before?
No.
Okay, no.
We've gotten a lot closer on
Oh,
set.
really? He lets you take the lead?
Yeah.
What's the
Actually, no.
relationship? It's a
Not we take a lead, but my dad is also really funny. Like he
is.
was a marketing director before, like a marketing sales director at like Microsoft, and long time ago. And growing up, I was like, oh, he's just a scary guy, but he was just working a lot. But
Yeah.
then like it makes sense if you're a marketing person, you have to have like funniness, right? And so
some wit to you.
yeah, and this photographer recently wants to do like a project with me where I recreate my dad's photos. So I told my sister to look in all these like photo albums, and she found these pictures of my dad when he was young. And oh my god, my dad is so funny. I'll send you that picture.
Yes.
There's a picture of my dad where he's went like parasailing with his friends, and he's like running along the beach trying to get the parachute in the air. And then there's like a picture of him in the air with a parachute, but like his face running with it has filled with so much emotions, and I knew instantly. I was like, yeah, that's my dad. That's where I got from. And now it's just like I have just given him the platform to now let his inner child come out again. And so this whole mission is like a mission statement and thing. This theme that I have is my father's inner child.
Your father's inner child.
Yes.
You are your father's inner child.
No, I hope in creating this content and building this machine for him that he's then able to just like show his inner child again. That I'm able to like do that for him. That Dad, you don't have to like try to provide that hard anymore. Like I'll take care of it.
Oh my God.
I want you to like have fun. I want you to like just be you. Enjoy life. Like I'll take care of it, you know?
Damn. That is so nice. That is so nice, by the way.
Thanks. Yeah, I'm trying my best.
Do you think your dad will listen to this?
Yeah, he watches all my videos.
Oh, really? Okay,
Yeah,
what would you say to him right now?
喂，點啊？食咗飯未啊？哇，好食喎！
Is that how you guys speak? Do you guys speak Cantonese?
I growing up, I replied in English, but now I intentionally practice my Cantonese. Yeah, and I intentionally try to speak Cantonese to him, and then I just fill the words with English. It's a Chinglish 啦。
Chinglish.
係咯，
What's
係
a Chinglish?
有啲呢啲嘢講咗 and then some like this,
Okay,
like
okay.
middle. You're Malaysian. You literally.
But my mom can't really speak English at all. So like I don't get to do that with her. Yeah, but I get what you mean. Can I just say Hong Kong's Cantonese?
I should learn of that.
I feel
term.
like is the sexiest Cantonese accent in my opinion.
我啲廣東話 OK 啊。哦，你想我使唔使讀本書俾你聽啊？幫我
講咩啊你？
練啲音俾你聽下。
練啲音。Oh my god, everyone behind the scenes like laughing right now. But
Cringe.
oh gosh.
Cringe.
But do you get to really speak your Canto like when you're in America, or it's really mostly just for content? Because
Where I grew up, yes.
Oh really? Oh yeah, lots of honkies.
Yeah, and also me doing Cantonese content.
Yeah.
I realized there's a lot of Cantonese people, and I'm like, since when did
Yes.
you speak? And they just started appearing.
Yeah.
I'm like, since when were you Cantonese? Like, I always have been. I'm like, oh, duh.
Yeah.
But I'm like, there's a lot of Cantonese people around the world, and we're
Yeah.
also we're like Hong Kong people is an international place, and
Yeah.
because of like displacement of people,
For sure.
we're everywhere in the world.
Everywhere.
It's not just like a place; it's a people. We're like
Yes.
Wakanda.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. 廣東人啊.
Hi.
My mom is 廣東人, so that's why I can speak a little bit of
Mhm.
Cantonese. So,
Mhm.
yeah, we are your people. We're here.
Yeah.
More, please.
And that's my niche. I have accidentally found myself trying to connect. I'm now connecting the global Cantonese diaspora.
Yes.
And I'm still figuring what that means.
Yeah.
But it takes someone to pioneer, and I mean, I'm
Somebody's
standing on
gotta
the
do
shoulder.
it.
Yeah, I'm standing on the shoulders of giants, like
Yeah.
literally, like made with Lao people who are my exact references on
Mhm.
people I want to build a cooking show off. Like
Mhm.
they created a cooking show together to pass on that legacy
Yeah.
of like home cooked Cantonese foods.
Yeah.
And then there's like Iron Chef Dad, where like you like try to
Yeah.
make some crazy food together.
Yeah.
And then I was trying to like be like, okay, not education, because like Made with Lao is like very informative.
Mhm.
I'm like, I want to just like shoot shit with my dad. I want to just banter with my dad. So mine is like just entertainment.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I have a really random question. What if one day, just curious, if your dad comes to you, 仔啊，我好攰啊，我唔想再做 grandpa dumpling
哦，
咁點啊？ Oh, sorry, translation. Okay, I'm tired of being grandpa dumpling.
he doesn't
So-
want to do it anymore.
He's tired. Then how?
Let's say one day he decides not to.
Yeah.
Good thing I'm expanding on my own thing now. Yeah, right.
Plan B all the time.
Yeah. Like as like an entrepreneur, I
Yeah.
have to think very business.
Diversify,
Yeah,
right?
diversify all the things, and like income wise, I'm working on like a new business
Yeah.
outside of content, so I have
Yeah.
some sort of stability in my life, you know.
Mhm.
And then also working on like I've now. That's why I created Grandpa Dumpling account. Like he manages actually. I have his login, but I made that on purpose is so I could start also doing my own stuff, not just stuff all together all the
Yeah.
time. Because my goal now is like I want to build myself up as like a whole
Like a network?
personality
All right.
entity. And so no matter the medium of like if it's film, if it's hosting, if it's like social media stuff, like it all applies. But firstly, I'm trying to do a very long game, big picture of
Mhm.
like myself, and then
Yeah.
also building my dad up.
Yeah.
And so if one day like he doesn't feel like doing anymore, it's like
That's
okay,
okay.
that's okay.
Yeah.
I'll still take care of you.
Yeah.
You know?
And if you could meet your younger self right now,
Mm.
what would that one thing you would do differently when it comes to like
Do differently.
yeah. If is there anything? Or
If I were my younger self right now, how
like
old are we saying?
maybe just before you started content creation, like what would you do differently now that you've learned the ropes?
Oh.
Yeah.
Oh, be business minded.
Right away. from
Oh
the start.
yeah. Learn the business. Learn how it works. Learn how to make your life work around this, because
Mhm.
it's not easy.
No.
It is not easy.
No, people think it's so easy to get numbers. Oh, it's really not. And to be
Yeah.
consistent is the hardest.
But then like after that, then what?
Yeah.
Like how do you
dude.
convert attention and numbers
To-
into like money?
Correct. That's
feed
really the
yourself,
hardest.
Right? So that's where I'm on next. Like I'm trying to like create things that I could sell. Like what's my merchandise? Because I don't get paid off of views. I don't know about
Yeah.
you. I don't get AdSense. I'm not on YouTube. I'm
No.
barely on YouTube.
This is gonna be on YouTube, but no, we're not that big enough to be paying like getting lots of money from the views. So I'm not relying on that.
Uh-huh.
Yeah, it's just like you may be relying more on brand collaborations.
All of
That's
my
better.
money is brand deals.
Yeah, for
Yeah.
sure. So even America is the same thing.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes. I mean, like like every single person is different, but
Yeah.
for me, I only currently
Yeah.
monetize off of brand deals.
You may not know this, but I ask 3 questions before I let my guests go every single
Okay,
time.
Ken.
Okay. I didn't really
Okay.
prep you for this, so I'm just gonna go for it.
Okay.
Number 1. What are you currently head over heels for?
What am I currently heads over heels about? Damn. Is this so generic? But like Asia, like I'm building in Asia. Like as an Asian American,
Yeah.
like America's kind of rough right now. Like
We
you
heard,
know, it's
we
kind
heard.
of tough, and I'm
Yeah.
like, I feel my personal fulfillment in Asia anyway. So
Mhm.
why don't I just take a bet on myself and try to do something here?
Mhm.
Because like, what if like the world's so globalized now?
Yeah.
So I'm just very looking forward to doing more things in
Yeah.
Asia and exploring my identity and building a fulfilling mission driven like business on that.
All the best. And
Thank you.
we got you, man. We love you here.
Thanks.
Yeah. Okay, second question. Best or worst advice you've ever received?
Oh, best or worst advice?
Can be both. Like
Oh man. Oh my gosh.
anything Grandpa Dumps ever told you? Or Grandma Dumps?
I can start with best.
Yeah, sure.
Just try your best. Just do your best. If the best is all you got, then what else do you got? Like that's it, right?
Yeah,
If your best looks different every day as well.
that's true.
So as long as you tried your best today, then it was a good day.
I love that though.
Yeah.
That's good. That's really good.
Yeah. Thank you. Thank
Okay.
you. I read that in a book. What was my what's that book? Who Stole My Cheese?
Two stole my
No,
cheese?
Who Stole My
Or
Cheese?
Who
Is
Stole
that
My
book?
Cheese?
Oh, no,
what's
no,
the book
no.
about?
No,
who's-
not the one. It's another self-help book that I read.
Okay,
Oh my god,
okay.
I have to find that quote later for
Okay.
what the book title is.
So this last one, I find it really, it makes you think, right?
Mm.
So take a minute. If you could be remembered for one thing, beyond money, beyond your success, beyond your virality, what would it be, Ray?
My warmth. Yeah.
I felt it though.
Yeah. My rays.
Oi!
My
Pun
rays.
intended.
Yeah.
Love that.
Yeah.
I love
I
that.
want people to remember that like you're
Yeah.
okay.
Yeah.
Like life's good.
You light up the room when you walk in. Like
Oh,
the
thanks.
energy right away shifted. Really, really.
Yeah, thanks. I
Yeah.
mean, you're really stressed and started like, you know.
Well, Ray, it's been so nice having you here. Thank you so much. We are head over heels for you and Grandpa Dumpling and Grandma Dumpling.
And we'll get them on the podcast. eh?
Yes, please, one day. And yeah, I hope you come here more often.
Yes.
Because I know it's a long way from LA.
Oh, I'll be here.
Yeah.
Don't you worry. I'm
Uh-huh.
flying everywhere all the time.
Yeah, and you guys know what to do. If you see him in person, say hello to get these stickers.
Unless I'm in like not having a good day and I'm sorry. But for the most part, yes. Yes. I'm still human.
All right, like with that, like I always say, don't forget to fall head over heels for yourself first and always. And we see you guys in the next episode. Bye-bye.
Bye-bye.
Head over heels. Head over heels. Head over heels. Head over heels. Head over heels.